Welcome back to Factorio building the Hyperbase. This of course isn't the Hyperbase here, this is our old factory science resumed for because we now have a source of space science so that we can get on with some of this nice infinite research. But if you notice, we have been doing science at a rate of about 140 a minute. But these were originally designed for about 120 a minute, and then you've got to take into account the assembly machine speed, which is 0.75. So you can see at the front they're getting quite thin. I guess there's two ways we can fix this. We can either just put assembly machine 3s in, which is probably the best long-term option, because then we can add more. We could add modules to it if we wanted to. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I mean, the other thing is I could just put speed modules in these ones. I mean, there is certainly an argument along the lines of unless you're moduling it up, you don't really need assembly machine 3s, because you, for the price, you get more advantage from, let's just get down here so that we're in the network. You get more advantage from just moduling or adding more of the blue machines, but we don't have space for them, and this is not a long-term build anymore. This is just our for now build. Let's take a look at this guy. I think what we need to do is that new storage. Oh, I could create a new one, I suppose, but I already have an upgrade planning tool. Here. Probably going to run out fairly soon. Yes, we're down to 9. Alright. Let's get some more then. How many do I have in storage here? 400. So it's not like we don't have the resources to be able to do this upgrade. And 1.25 should be, oh, I don't even know why I'm doing the military science, we won't be using that part. 1.25, which is the speed of, ooh, we're out already. Okay, how about another 50? Which is the speed of these machines. If it was designed for 120, that's basically the equivalent of 150, so it kind of should, yeah, those ones were kind of wasted, I suppose, but that's fine. Already out again. Alright, last lot. There we go. And there we go. So, if that's able to keep up the supply of material, which I'm not 100% sure it is, we should maybe I should upgrade these yellows to blues as well. I have 50 blues. Oh, it's going to upgrade all the belts, isn't it? Which it's probably not the worst thing in the world, but if we don't need to do it, we don't need to do it. Where did I get up to? Just one left here. And how's that now? Well, I can't say that it appears to have fixed anything. We're still doing about 140 a minute roughly. We're now producing about 150 a minute, so it should get on top of the situation in due course, but we may have to wait a bit. But that's fine. Let's just have a look down here, see what sort of supply we still have. Oh, the bottom one's 4.7. But otherwise it's about 6,000 by... Yeah, well, I guess that's 40,000, isn't it? And we've used a little bit out of the end. In fact, I could work it out just from looking at that. But I'm a dummy. Okay. I'm not quite sure how long we wasted with all of that. I guess it wasn't a complete waste. This is progressing pretty fast. How much supply is there on this train now? 9.3. Does go down fairly slowly. We're up to 275,000 panels. And that's 14. We've finished 14.8 rows. I guess we can leave that a while. We don't need to worry about it just yet. I think my plane is over here somewhere. Now, it's right here. So, I guess if I call this over to Space Science Unload, I can jump on the train to save me having to... Oh, and I was going to get it to fill up from the rocket fuel that gets delivered here as well, so that's probably something I should do. I guess the question the question that we should look at now is, what do we do? Do we start backfilling all of this stuff? Do we fix up oil? Do we push into yellow science at this point? I don't think we need to do all of the backfill just yet. I'd actually like to get sort of, 1 or 2,000 science a minute, and then slowly backfill everything to bring it up to 8. I think that's a better strategy than trying to get all of this set up and be stuck on exactly where we are for a much longer period of time. We'll see better progress by... I know it's still on its way. Good. Jumped on board just in time. Yeah, we'll see better progress by bringing online the components for all the rest of the stuff. And I am going to do it in reverse order. The most complex first, so we'll probably end up picking up momentum as we get to the newer stuff. So, so if we start at yellow and then purple, blue, green, red, by the time we're at green and red, it'll be very quick probably to put them on, because they're fairly simplistic. In fact, by the time we've done yellow science, we're probably half done in terms of the build and design and so on. So, yeah, it's just, I have no idea at the moment where we're going to put the yellow science. So we're going to have a bit of a look around the factory, maybe do a bit of an explore. I I might just pop up to oil quickly. Yeah, you're starting to use all of that, so let's just do this. That way we can save on power substations. So I want you to order in, say, just 10 rocket fuel. I don't think the demands of this train are going to make much difference to the overall picture of how much rocket fuel has to come through. That just means this is fueled and we don't have to worry about it anymore. This one already is fueled. So our plane. Now, there's copper here, there's copper here, bit of iron. I think there's a bit of stuff out here. We need more oil. If you notice, there's only a handful of oil pumps here that we're not using. I thought 90,000 was, you know, the be-all and end-all until I started finding 12,000. No, 330,000. I don't really want the oil for this area to be this far away though, so I'd rather find an oil, another oil somewhere around here for the other oils. The other thing is there is a slightly uneven pattern here. See if I can show you it. .6. That certainly is a little bit light in light of what most of the others are. I think what the problem is some of these machines have their oil whisked away. It's hard to say actually. The amount of crude getting right through to the end here is fairly non-existent, given that we still have action here building up our supply of rocket fuel. So that's getting most of these machines operating, and you can see that the amount of oil here is not sufficient. And this isn't up to 100, so there is room for more. Some of these that haven't been, oh, that one doesn't have power. Some of these that haven't been deployed yet, if they were deployed, that would boost our throughput a little bit, which I think we probably need to do. So just for something easy to do, let's pop up to the oil. I think I have to come over this way a bit. There we go. Certainly is a long way up here, so it's just as well that we have this jet. And we are... oh! So, worker robot speed 7 finished. Okay, that's good. We either go for 8 for 4,000, or we start doing a little bit of mining productivity. Maybe we'll do mining productivity for a little bit of variety, and because we do need it. So, over here... so let's put one more of these guys on. Oh, this one's not even on either. No, that doesn't work. Oh, at times we're hitting 100 now, which would tend to suggest there's no point putting the last 1, 2, 3 pump jacks on, but we need the bulk of the field, so obviously it's with the current mining productivity it's not enough for if that's sometimes hitting 100. Oh, we've got 100 down here. Right. Well, that's probably about as good as we can get there then. Okay. What I want to do is come out to wherever this is a nice big iron patch here. Let's take a quick look on map view and just see how good it is. It's probably ridiculous. 2.0 G, that's pretty decent. Now, this is probably faster exploring with this guy than, what's that gun, eh? 1.2 G and 826. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. This little patch 6, oh my goodness, is not going to survive very long at all. In fact, all of these are dead, all of these are dead, all of these are dead. If we're going to continue using this facility at all, that's 50% of the copper. This one is okay from the looks of things. We can't just avert everything to this one. We are also going to need another copper source. 233. Maybe that's the way to go if I lengthen this line and pick up that. So the only reason I got distracted then is I'm trying to find some sources of material that we can potentially use for blue science. I think I just saw another copper. And blue science, not blue science, yellow science of course. Yellow science uses a hell of a lot of copper. Oops. So we obviously need to find more copper sources. But, oh, here we go, here's another one. 4.4 billion. Yeah, I may have overcooked these settings just a little bit, guys. It's not maximum either, but I kind of just don't want to run out. I think we are starting to find enough good copper sources that I could definitely look to somewhere over here, assuming I can find a spot. Look to somewhere over here to be where we start looking into yellow science. Oh, another huge iron. The resources keep on coming. If we need lots of iron, that's what purple science is going to consume a lot of, so I guess I need to be aware of that. Getting another coal here is probably kind of useful. I would like to push down at the bottom end of the map as well, because I haven't seen any new oil, unfortunately. That's a little bit disappointing. So I would like to know where I can go for you know, the rest of the oil that we need for the rocket. I might have to go somewhere out of the way. What's that? Is that another coal? No, it's just a pattern. But we're asking a lot of RSO at the moment in terms of generating new terrain for us. Oh, there you go. Speaking of which, I'm guessing these two are both ridiculously large. It's only 417. I don't have quite such a large magnifier on the coal as I do. Oh, there's another copper. And another iron. This territory is overflowing with stuff. Another copper. All these resources are all well and good, but I actually need somewhere to deploy stuff, not just lots of resources. I know this is a long way away from places, or at least I think it is. What's that? An 836. Okay. It may be that we have to use that to supply these things. Well, I think I need 4 of them. So I've got 1 here. I can use that one for 2. But certainly this one could supply 2. It's just where exactly would you actually put all of the mechanics? Because there's not a lot of room, especially if I want to make use of things like that, unless we go back this way. Let's try a little bit of an explore back that way. I don't actually want to go all the way up here all that much. Growing the map, that's not good for our UPS either, but it's not that bad. It used to be quite bad. There's another copper. Especially with biters, but no biters or pollution, it's not that bad. I don't think. We need oil for yellow science as well. Obviously, because to make the blue circuits and to make the speed modules, we need well, we obviously need the plastic for the red circuits that go into both. Maybe we'll find some oil up here. Where are we? We're just there. I mean, it's safe to come all the way up here. What's that? That looks like there's some oil up there. That would be okay, I guess, for oil for the rocket. If we needed it. I mean, we don't, as I've said before, we don't have to build out all the facilities. We could use that 800 for yellow science. In fact, I'm tending to think that's probably the way to go. Oh, there you go. That's kind of what we wanted. What's the second oil there? 280,000. Well, there you go. We can probably tap those, and there's some coal that's basically just right next to it that we could well, we can look at ways of using that. So, yeah. Aha. Let's do the next productivity research. plus 2%. We go to our bonuses just quickly. Movement speed 370%. We don't have the mod for cargo capacity, so we're at max. Mining productivity plus 32%, so that's nice. Research speed 250%, so that's kind of nice too. Alright. All this iron is used. Did I use that one in the end? I think so. So all this iron is used for the LDS. The copper is not. And obviously these coppers are not either. I think I have Factorio Planner. I could even quickly swap to Factorio Planner. I think. There you go, Factorio Planner. So yeah, Dooma.com is where you can get this product. If I hit reset, that takes everything away. We want the... oh, I got rid of all of these. That wasn't so clever. I basically want to see how much copper and so on I need. So we're going to have to do a little bit of quick research now that I've thrown that away. One of these is plus 540%, plus 540%, and a 40% productivity bonus. So if we want 8,000 yellow science, does it have the sciences anywhere? Yes. 8, 1, 2, 3. Somewhere we need to put it's per minute. Oh, I'm not so concerned about those things. It says we need 194,000 copper per minute and basically 130,000 iron. There's a little bit that goes into the batteries. These things are perhaps what's most interesting. So we need 128 assembly machine 3s to do this. And what about the speed guys? 89. So it's 90 and 128, 218. So if we were looking at a similar sort of concept to the one that we have for these circuits here, damn, I'd like to be able to see there, so maybe I will just add some radars in a couple of critical locations. Was down here. Yes, we're missing radar. No, well, we shouldn't be. Oh, that's the top. I want to go down to here. We're missing radar somewhere. Get out of map mode. I'm not sure where. Let's just put one in here. So, this guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll count it. The traditional way, living on the edge. 14 currently. and what's the length of the row in total? 21. We could go longer than that though. 21, 14. We could easily go 22 or 23. How much room do we have at the top? Yeah, I mean an extra one. 22. Let's just have a look at those. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry guys, I've left you on this screen and you're not seeing what I'm looking at. But so 128 and 90 is 218. Let me just get this back to Factorio. Sorry about that. I'm not very good at this just yet, but maybe it's safer just to leave it on the game. So if we need sort of 218, and each row can be 22, that means we need 10 rows. And that's terrible because this divides by 4, so I don't like that calculation all that much. I suppose it's okay though, we could have 2.5 of these. Is there anything else useful that we could build in one of those? Not really. Not really at all. So what would the ratio of stuff be then? It's basically 13 to 9 of these guys per row. That works pretty well. So 4 lots of 13 of these are going to chew a lot of circuits. I'm going to quickly check Duma again. Sorry, you guys. Well, I could actually I could remember to swap you back. That would make it a little bit easier for you. So what I'm interested in, I guess, is kind of the ratio to these guys, the green circuits that we need between the two products. It's actually more green circuits than red. That surprises me for these. Does that? Oh, you need green no, because you need green circuits in that, so that we need to discount this collection and just count that in this one because that will already be built into the red. So it's 14285. 14285 plus 122,500, say 136,800 versus 12 and 14, 26. So we need one hell of a lot more green circuits. Maybe actually looking at the number of machines we need might be a better way of doing it. So that's 10 plus 91. No, that's just confusing. Well, I guess what I want to know is for our block of 4, which is 4/10 of this, can, and I'm going to swap you back to Factorio. Can our the circuit creation, can this thing adequately supply one of these when it's been turned into blue and speed module 1s? And I think the answer is probably not. But let us see. Again with this guy. So 23. Ooh. There's an issue up there. Right here. You're not doing anything, dude. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And you need some modules. There we go. Much better. Okay, so this is 23. It is... Oh. Yeah, let's do the 17. The ratio is not correct. But we have one extra, so it's basically we have 12. We're performing probably slightly below the potential of these. Oh, actually, probably no, that's not the case. These should be operating at max. That certainly looks like it is. So does that. And that. I think they're all operating at max. So we said 23, didn't we? So that would be, there's 11 green circuits. So there's 22 green circuit machines in one of these. I mean, Doom has probably actually told me the answer here already. We needed 91 plus for the red circuits another 13 is 94 plus another 15, 16. We need 110. So I think basically what Doom is telling me is that we need we've got 22. We need 5 of these to support the demands. The demands for blue and blue circuits and speed module 1s, and in terms of the red circuits, we have 8/9 of whatever number this is. What number is it? It is 72. 8/9 are 72, so it's 64. We've actually got 64 red machines in there. And if I quickly check Duma 64, we need 109 plus 127. But it's less than 5. That's like 237. 64 by 4 is 240, 256. So yeah, we only need 4 that are red. These numbers are not these numbers are not being pretty for me, guys, which is a shame. well, we need at least 4 of these guys, so it's pretty similar to building all of this again. It probably means we need the 3, or close enough to, the 3 coppers and 2 irons. So I mean there's 1, 2, maybe 3. I don't know if I've got enough length there, but here I would have 6.4. That's kinda insane. Or if I don't use that one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 maybe. And then we need some room down here perhaps to push out the iron and maybe the oil off to the side here. Okay, where is my plane? Down here, okay. So I think we'll start with 4 builds, and then we need like a half extra, so I might look at some experimental green build for the extra one. But let's make a little bit more space down at the bottom of the map. Right, we're getting even more iron. So iron's not really likely to be that much of a problem for us. Some coal. Wow. A fairly big coal, as it happens. Which is convenient for the oil for the plastic manufacture. I was trying to space out these ore, getting the balance between spacing them out and having enough of them is an interesting thing. You probably need to muck with a lot of map gens and reveal the map a very long way before you can get it exactly right. I don't think this map's too bad, aside from it is starting to ramp up too aggressively now, really. Although, I mean, really, my objective was just so I didn't have to keep, once established, we could pretty much just use the ore we've got. We wouldn't have to keep hunting for more. And, you know, that is going to be the case, clearly, when you're talking about billions of ore in these patches. We're not likely to exhaust any of them. Just finding room to put these facilities is going to be interesting. Probably getting giddy and a little bit bored of just flying backwards and forwards, so don't blame you. So I think to make it a little bit more interesting, it's probably time to get a copy of one of the facilities we want and start slapping something down. Oh, more coal. Every time the plane stops, it's basically the map gen at work. Okay. This is getting worse. If we can fit this kind of thing, or this kind of... actually, I don't want that one. I want more this one. Or this one. We should be able to fit it heading down. Okay, let's get a copy of that. I want to put it on this one to start off with. Is this the one? I think so. Yep. And let's do some InfiniZoom action. Whoops, not zooming in. We want to zoom on out. So something like about that. That's one. Where else do we want it? Do we want these heading this way? Or this way? I probably want to turn that around, have it come out this way. There's like my 3. We're ignoring the 3.1, it's the wrong shape. Get out of InfiniZoom. Get back into InfiniZoom. Ooh, yeah, this one is not that great. I guess something like that. And probably that one maybe coming up. Actually going down, there's probably more space. Yeah, something like that. And guys, I think we've probably done enough for this time. I'll probably fill out at least one of these with the well, if the miners and so on, just between times, just to speed things up a little bit as we start the next episode. But depending on exactly, well, once I've put these mining down, these guys all look a little bit on the small side, although going down like that would probably work. So I could potentially use that iron. Could certainly use this one, maybe coming in this way. There's iron over here that we could potentially use as well. It's a long way to bring all of these things together. Maybe. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this one. I look forward to seeing you in the next. Bye bye for now.